Welcome to the MFR Coaches podcast, where we talk about how you can create a six-figure MFR practice. I'm your host, Heather Hommel. Not only have I been practicing MFR for 11 years, I'm also a life and business coach, especially for MFR therapists. My goal is for you to understand how to get fully booked, how to talk to your clients, and how to make sure they understand what's possible for them with MFR treatment. I'm here to help you stop under-earning, overworking, and burning out. I'll lend support so you can create the MFR practice you've always wanted. Learn how you can do it too, even if you live in a tiny town, and even if you're just starting out, and even if you've ran your practice for years. Let's go. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the MFR Coaches podcast. I am your host as usual, Heather Hommel, the MFR coach. I want to talk to you all today about this idea of how to identify as an MFR therapist. And I want you to, as you're listening to this episode and listening to me talk about this, ask yourself very curiously, how do you identify? Do you identify as an MFR therapist? When did that happen for you? And if you're not quite there yet, what do you believe it will take in order for you to make that shift from who you are now to really embodying, I am an MFR therapist? Some of you might hear that and think, well, I already do identify as an MFR therapist. And this is like a silly question. That's why I'm here. That's why I listen to this podcast. And yes, it's true. And I'm happy that you are here. But I do think that there are some of you out there who are either unaware of this lack of identity or think that being an MFR therapist is for other people. That yes, you surround yourself in this community, you listen to the podcast, you think about joining group coaching, maybe you're on MFR Insight, maybe you do a little MFR in your practice, but you don't fully take on this identity as an MFR therapist. And I really believe that the sooner you identify as an MFR therapist, the sooner you really start to help your clients more deeply and even better. And it starts with identifying fully as an MFR therapist. That is really where it begins. MFR therapists are different than regular basic therapists. They just are. We see things differently. We are very unique. And we've been to MFR seminars and we're doing MFR only. That's one key aspect of this is you are doing MFR only. If you really truly identify as an MFR therapist, you're not doing a bunch of rigmarole on the side. You're not still offering massage. You're not doing multiple different techniques that you learned. And MFR is not just a tool in your tool chest. This right here is one of the biggest differences between someone who is kind of, sort of, maybe an MFR therapist and one who identifies fully as an MFR therapist. They're actually doing MFR and doing MFR only. You might be shifting towards this. You might be thinking about how to introduce MFR to your clients, and you might be considering a change, considering that this change is coming soon. And I love this for you. And I just want you to know that it doesn't have to take a lot of time or a lot of effort to make this change. It's this identity shift more than anything else that truly matters and what will help you truly and more quickly transform into that MFR only person. You might have heard this occur to me live while I was interviewing Kristen Ponzi a few weeks ago. This idea of, she shared with me of how coaching helped her finally switch in and identify as an MFR therapist. She'd been practicing as an MFR therapist for years, but had never actually fully identified as an MFR therapist and really believed that that was for other people who were smarter than her, who were more advanced, who were more successful. All of these stories she had about it until one day when she experienced that identity shift into an MFR therapist, and it really changed everything for her in her business. You guys can go back and listen to that episode. I think that when you have this shift to an MFR therapist, you start to experience MFR in a more positive way. So instead of it being really out there or really hard to talk about or something that is difficult, you start to notice that you can sell more MFR. You have a fuller schedule. You can charge a higher rate. You can hold your policies. You start to do things more purposeful. And I think that the opposite experience is also true when you forget who you are forget that you're an MFR therapist. You might not sell MFR as much. You might hide. You might not raise your rates, and you might not make as many offers to your clients. And therefore, you see a dip in your schedule. And I see this happen to people that are even in coaching. They coast along, like things are going really, really good. They create what they want, and then they quit creating what they want. It's almost like they start to focus on the things that are hard and they don't focus on what has become easy. This identity shift to I'm an MFR therapist, and they start to panic or worry about the clients that are not coming or the clients that are canceling versus like, who's coming? How did I create those clients in the first place? I'm an MFR therapist. I help people. All of these little subtle identity shifts that create that fully booked schedule and continue to create it time and time again, week after week after week. This is why my program is so important and why it really is for everyone who's been trained by John Barnes in myofascial release. It works for you no matter if you are new or if you have been around forever, because everyone needs this information and content. Even if you've been in business forever, and even if you are brand new and just starting to identify as an MFR therapist, there is support and content inside this coaching program specifically for you where you are at today. Your ability to identify as an MFR therapist and to take on the responsibility of furthering our community's mission to expose everyone to MFR as the first line of defense in pain management and healing, so more people can get out of pain and back to active lifestyles without relying on drugs and modalities and surgeries that don't fix the problem, is a huge mission, right? And I really feel like this is my mission. This is why I continually put myself out there and say the hard thing and try to welcome you all in and let you know that this is for you. This program is for you. You belong here. This is a community for you, especially for you, so that we can further the mission of myofascial release, right? John Barnes, many moons ago, created these techniques. He had this idea and he had this epiphany of like, oh, I'm a PT and the things I'm doing don't actually help people beyond, temporary relief. But now I have this information and I can get people better. And his willingness to teach us and create techniques and continually to create more and more programming for us so we can be better therapists and put himself out there, it's a big deal. And it's up to us to continually further this mission and to continually remind ourselves of who we are and the skills that we now embody, and to go out into the world as MFR therapists doing this work and doing the work in the way that it was meant to be done. Let's talk about the impact of all MFR therapists being six-figure earners. MFR therapists who decide they want more and do the work to help more clients are changing their communities. They help their clients get out of pain for longer and back to active lifestyles. Every day, I help MFR therapists to raise their rates, overcome objections, and sell MFR with confidence and in an empowered way. When you have these three skills, you become fully booked, you make more money, and you're able to enjoy your life outside of work even more. And you can afford things like more treatment for yourself and more vacations for your family. And who doesn't want that? Right now, the doors are open to join us inside the MFR Coaches 12-month Business Foundation program. Join now and start your 90-day journey through the foundation modules. Join our weekly live coaching calls and fast track your way through any confusion or questions that you have about your MFR business. With over 50 current members, you can enjoy a supportive community inside our Facebook group where me and my team are just a tag away to support you and answer any questions. When you join by November 15th, you not only get the last opportunity to enroll in 2023, but I'll be mailing you out a copy of the workbook. Inside the workbook, you'll find guidance on your next steps so you are never overwhelmed as you create a business that you love. One other special bonus when you enroll November 1st through 15th is the option to make 3 payments at no additional cost to you. So take advantage of this easy payment plan and get started now. Doors close November 15th. Go to www.themfrcoach.com/coaching. There's a link in the show notes. Terms and conditions apply. Sometimes I have to remind myself how cool it is to be in this world, to be in this community and inside the community that I've created for MFR therapists who are never going to under-earn and who will never burn out, who have decided to be loud and to sell MFR and who have decided to take control over their businesses so they can create something truly amazing and bigger than they ever imagined possible. And sometimes I just like to think and wonder what it was like for John Barnes when he was first coming out with his first seminar, and wondering if people would understand, and wondering, questioning, like, does this really work? And doubling down on it working and creating a clinic, and then creating a second clinic, and then creating, MFR 1, MFR 2, unwinding, fascial pelvis, MOBs, peds, all of these things, right? Understanding the bigger mission to help more people get out of pain and get back to active lifestyles. And we're part of this mission. We get to be part of this thing that was started so long ago. We get to continue on with this legacy that John started. It just gives me chills and goosebumps when I think about how important this mission is and how much it's up to us as the trained therapists to live this mission forward, to continue on the legacy and to continue pushing out into the world that this stuff isn't weird, that we're not actual weirdos, that this is the mainstream and that this can be normal healthcare. It really is up to us. And it starts with you identifying as an MFR therapist and becoming that therapist that knows and understands and believes that what you are doing is the answer, and that you have enough skills and that you have enough wherewithal to offer MFR as an MFR therapist, that you don't have to rely on someone else to create a business for you to work in, that you don't have to be employed in order to be safe, that you can create safety for yourself. And I'm happy to show you how to do that inside my program. And through my free resources like this podcast, I record these episodes so that everybody has access to my brain and the things that I come up with that further this mission. And I do this weekly for you for free because I love it and I love you and I love what you're doing and I want to support you. So whether or not you ever pay to work with me, I just want you to know, like, I'm thinking about you. When I put these podcasts together, you are on my mind. And I'm always coming up with ways to help you even better, make there be speed and ease to what you are trying to accomplish so that you don't have to get stuck in some river of misery somewhere where you aren't helping people, where you are afraid to go into business on your own, where you are maybe wasting away at a job that you don't like anymore. I just want you to know that there are other options out there. Okay? So, do you identify as an MFR therapist? I'm super curious. I would love for you to comment in the post that will be on social media about this episode when it airs. Tell me, like, I'm an MFR therapist. This is where my practice is located. Drop your links. Let's see how many people can come together and identify as MFR therapists and allow people to find them even more easily. And as part of that, I would just like to promote and encourage that you get on the MFR Health Directory so that your colleagues can find you easier and your patients can find you easier. It does no good for you to have a business out there and not be on that website. It makes it really hard for people to find you. So even if it's only colleagues finding you, please make it easier for us to connect, for us to find you, and for patients to find you. I appreciate it. And I hope to find many more of you on MFR Health, on the MFR Directory in general, so that we can just further our mission even further, help people get out of pain and back to active lifestyles, help more and more of you identify as MFR therapists. It's only going to help the world and only going to help your patients. All right. Until next week, have a great one, and I'll see you later. Bye. Thanks for joining me today. My mission is to help every MFR therapist become a part of the movement where no MFR therapists ever under-earn or burn out. Join my 12-month coaching program. You'll spend the first 90 days setting up your foundation to create your six-figure business. Then you'll go to work and uncover exactly what's holding you back from the business that you want and desire. Get support while you raise your rates, set your policies, and learn how to talk about MFR and how to sell MFR in service of your clients. Learn exactly how you can do it too, even if you live in a tiny town and even if you've had your business for years. This program is open to all MFR therapists who want to create what is possible when you stop playing small and start showing up in your full power as the John Barnes trained MFR therapist you are. Put your magic to work in the world and help more people get out of pain and back to active lifestyles. I'll help you do it. Go to www.themfrcoach.com/coaching and sign up right now.